Hey, welcome back to another discipleship training session. We are going to continue with our series on Desensitized. Where we left off was talking about the difference between the pentagram versus the pentacle. So I have that slide back up on the screen where we're looking at the difference between the pentagram and the pentacle. So the pentagram is on the right, and it doesn't have a circle around it. The pentacle has the circle around it. But the last thing we were talking about last week is most times when you see Satanists draw the thing on the floor, where because it's used as a gateway or portal to open up to the spirit realm for demons and spirits to come through, demonic spirits to come through. So what you'll usually see on the floor or on a wall or whatever is the pentacle, because it has a circle around it. However, those individuals call it a pentagram. So that may be a little confusing, but just understand whether it has a circle around it or it doesn't have a circle around it. We saw from last Sunday that this 5-pointed star has been adopted by occultists, and they use it. So and we're going to see that as we continue to go forward. So if you have something with a 5-pointed star and you're like, well, and we said, as I stated before, let me make sure I restate that this class, the 5-pointed star in and of itself is not demonic or satanic. It has been adopted by the occultists, and so it is pervasively used by them, just like a cross in and of itself has nothing to do with Jesus. But since he died on the cross, crosses are now signified or identified with Jesus Christ. There's nothing anybody can do to change that. So whether we want to be like, oh man, well, I'm just going to say it don't. That's on you. And my job is to put the information out there. You make the call for your life. But if you're saying, hey, it's a 5-pointed star, can I keep it, can I not? Then if you want to do the research to see, was that issued forth in the clothing or in the book or whatever, was that issued forth by an occultist? Then do that work. And if you find out it was not, then you're good to go. But if you don't feel like doing all that work to try to investigate to see who used this sign in the book, in the clothing, in the whatever, then your best bet is to stay away from it. Because more than likely, it's someone who was an occultist. And a lot of occultists have makeup lines, perfume lines, clothing lines, all of this different stuff. So as we're going to see as we go forward, they're putting this 5-point star in their material. And it is representing Satan's kingdom. It is not representing anything good or holy. So that is the risk you take if you're not going to do the investigative work to see, does this come from a non-satanic place or does it come from a satanic place? So let me pause. Are there any thoughts, questions, or comments on that? Okay, so in Satanism, you can see that the 5-pointed star has the point down. That's how you know it's Satanism. We're going to see when the point is up here, it's Wiccan for witches. So the inverted, pointed down 5-pointed star, so this is a pentagram, but then it has a circle around it, which makes it a pentacle. Sorry, that was me. I'm sorry. I'm just making stuff up. What is it? A pentacle? Yeah. So the 5-pointed star or pentagram with a circle around it is often used to represent Satanism. So the Church of Satan, this is their symbol. And they have their word, the Satanic Temple, around it, with Baphomet in the middle of the pentagram that's now encased with the circle, which makes it a pentacle. But they're using the pentagram, which is a 5-pointed star. So let me just pause. Does that make sense or no? I know this can sound confusing, but
it just, I don't know.
Go ahead.
No, like they know the evil is in here. That's what I'm confused about. Like, how can they do this?
Just like there's people that can say, how can you serve Jesus? It's the way you view it. They view Lucifer as someone good, holy, and that God did him wrong. That's really what Lucifer is telling them. I got shafted by God. He's mean. He's evil. He kicked me out. All I was doing was what I was supposed to do. I'm the one that really provides light and wisdom and knowledge, and that's why they go to him. Because they think he's the one that really provides true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And so they look at everybody else like, you dummies. We're serving the right one. Just like we look at them like, y'all dummies. Y'all serving the wrong one. But we just happen to really be right.
Gotcha. Interesting.
And remember, they get their stuff more immediate. I do an all-night sacrifice. I get some immediate results. With God, he ain't giving immediate results. It's like, no, you're going to follow my word and walk that out and develop some character. Then you're going to see some results. And so it's more immediate. So they're like, bump that. Y'all going the slow route. We going the fast route. But they fast route is going to cause them to have eternal damnation.
Yeah.
On a fast route to hell.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Just like this.
Now I'm going to do my best to go slower with these lessons because I know all this stuff needs to sink in.
Like this.
Okay.
Go to the next slide.
Okay, and you can say that. Just go to the next slide. Pentagram. So the 5-pointed star pointing up right here. This is the pentagram, but it's in a circle. So the 5-pointed star pointed up with a circle around it is widely used by Wiccans and also in paganism.
Okay,
So it could be paganism that's being represented here, or it could be Wiccans. And Wiccans is a society of witches. So you see, they're using the pentagram with the star pointed up. With Satanists, they're using the pentagram with the star pointing down. That's how you know the difference. If it's down, it's representing Satanism. If it's up, it's representing either paganism or Wiccans. So I'm going to pause.
So, this might, I don't know if it's like off topic, but when we was younger, we used to put a star on top of the Christmas tree.
Yeah, it still do. It's supposed to be the Star of David.
Okay, never mind.
It's like, it's not even the same shape, guys.
I'm just, I was confused. Maybe that's because it was a pagan thing.
I mean, it is pagan, the
That's
whole
what I was
Christmas tree
getting.
and stuff like that. But it was supposed to be, the wise men saw the star and they knew what to do. Right. So that's kind of where the star came from.
Gotcha.
I'm sure you'll probably get to it.
Maybe
and
not.
How it shows in, how it shows in, like, stuff like this shows in pop culture, but it's like, everyone's like, yeah, Captain America.
Oh, yeah, we
with
are getting
the-
there. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, with the star on the shield and whatnot, but no one has ever been like, hey, he has the sign of Wiccans on his shield, and we just...
Boom. Next slide.
All right,
Keep
cool.
going. Go ahead and
And we
teach.
just like, yeah, Captain America throws his mighty shield, and it's just. And I think the creator of Captain America actually was an occultist.
Because the shield wasn't like that at first.
No,
Yeah, it wasn't even round.
What was it?
It was
like a
half
Like a buckle, like an
Yeah.
actual, okay.
Yeah.
So, we can see here, when we go to the movies and watch Captain America, we're partaking in occultism. That's just how easy it is, y'all. That's just how easy it is. So, I'm just a messenger. Don't get on me. Oh man, so I can't go see Marvel movies. You can do whatever you choose to do. I'm just showing you how occultism is running through and through all of this stuff. Like, who thought about this? If anything, I would look at this and be like, man, that's a cool shield. And now I know what the shield really represents. And I'm like, oh, that's not cool at all. I mean, it's in your face, but you don't know. That's what occult means. It means a secret. It's in your face, but the meaning of it is a secret. So while it's in your face, you have no clue of the demonic things that this represents because it's a secret. And so what you're going to start to see after we go through this lesson, you're going to start to see occult symbols all around you. It's been there all the time. You just never paid attention to it because you didn't know to pay attention to it because it was a secret.
So wasn't the old American flag 13 stars in a circle? Or was it half a circle? I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember my social studies.
Let's see.
The 13 colonies.
Yeah, I feel like it was a triangle.
Oh, don't listen to me.
Cannot spell original.
Like the 13 colony flag.
Oh, it.
Yeah, here we go.
Yep.
Dang it, it went away. Hold on. Can y'all see? Let me shift.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here we go. Boom. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's brought my attention.
But I mean, yeah. So, but you see the 5-pointed star. And who have all the presidents been? Does anyone know? And are
Masons or
they're Freemasons, which comes from I gotta like do the chain correctly, but dang it, what is the chain? There was something, then the Knights Templars, then that like went to like Freemasons, and from there you got Skull and Bones, blah blah blah. But from the Freemasons come the Divine Nine. Like all of this stuff tied back to occultism. Yep. And in order for you to be a president in the United States, you have to be a Freemason. And it's just interesting because they put out all the time how in The Simpsons, the occult people give you clues on what's going to happen, and it happens years later because it's been planned. Yeah. So they show where years before Trump even was known he was going to run for president, become president, they had it in The Simpsons that Trump was going to be president. So they put it in there, and they're letting you know, but you think you're watching a cartoon or whatever. I don't watch The Simpsons anymore, but you think you're watching stuff, but you go back and you start to see all of this stuff was in here. I think even the submarine thing where the people died in there, that was in there. Like all of this stuff. So all of this stuff, they're like, what it means is this was all planned. Maybe the people, some of the people that were participants didn't know that they were going to be participants and be a part of that plan. And some of them did. Because like with Trump, they said he was going to be president. So this was all planned. So, don't think that this is by happenstance. Again, I don't know. Let me just stop there. It can become depressing at a certain point. Okay. So Captain America's shield. Converse. Everybody love these.
Original basketball.
Yeah. So here we go. We have the pentagram. So what I want you to see is, it's not all the time the pentacle. It's sometimes just the pentagram. Here you go, the pentagram. So the Converse had the pentagram on it. This redesigned shoe first came out in 1922 because the shoe originally didn't even have the star on there and stuff like that. It was a later redesign in 1922 where this circle got placed on here that say Converse All-Star, and they put the 5-pointed star, which added the signature ankle patch to the shoe. Now we're going to take a look at a more recent shoe design a few years ago by designer Rick Owens, who admits that the star is a pentagram and is all about the occult. So Rick Owens, this stands for dark shadow. So we know this has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. This was his redesign of the Converse. So it has dark shadow with the 5-pointed star. Again, we see no circle around it. So it doesn't just mean it's for the occult if it has the circle around it being the pentacle. They use the pentagram, and then they'll use the pentagram by itself, or they'll put a circle around it, which is considered a pentacle. It don't matter. They have adopted the pentagram. So this design says Converse All-Star, Chuck Taylor. Now here was some of the advertisement for the shoe. They used these people looking very demonic, and these people, they're in the shape of the pentagram with the point down. Satanism. Look at the shoe.
Bro.
So just take a minute. Take that all in.
That's crazy.
So you know, there's no way you can justify this advertisement and say, oh, this is okay for me as a Christian to wear.
Thing is, how would that pull? Oh, well, golf people, I guess. I don't know.
How would what?
How is this like a, what is it called, propaganda? How would that pull you in? Advertising, like
If you
into that stuff.
yeah, if you into it. It's not for everybody. And for Converse to be okay with this lets you know where Converse stands as a company. Because what company is going to be like, yeah, I think that's appropriate for us to put in our advertisement. And that's what I'm saying. We're living in the days where Satan is becoming more emboldened. It's more out here now. Like I just showed you the other week what the Grammys for 2023 look like. That was the most bold display of Satan and his people coming out. So our listening skills and obedience skills to God has to be in place, because the days are growing more evil, and you can't be like, oh, I forgot. Well, that's why you're suffering. And there's nothing God's going to be able to do about that. So the fact that this kind of stuff is being placed in advertisements publicly, that lets you know where we're headed as a society. Okay. So I'm going to just leave that here, unless it helps for you to read my words. I'll just put it up.
Okay.
Rick Owens issued a statement concerning the controversial new shoe in a separate post on Converse's Instagram account. And he said, I've been using the pentagram for a long time because obviously it has adolescent occult associations. So let me pause. He didn't say, I use it because it has adolescent. Adolescent means, older, not like baby. He said, obviously. So for those that are like, nah, this isn't demonic, he's like, obviously it is. Where you coming from? So I'm just pointing. And let me pause. I was watching something, and the way that this person phrased it was just so good. Because the way that this guy phrased it, he says, God is using people that came out of the occult and came to him. He's using them to preach sin, while the people that never been in the occult, supposed to be pastors, bishops, evangelists, they not preaching sin. You see the ridiculousness of this? So, in War Book on Mondays, these are two people that came out of the occult, and they heavily preach, come out of sin, don't sin. But you got pastors, ministers, bishops, evangelists. They're like, no, everybody gonna have some sin in their life. You see the ridiculousness? So we just as a people are blinded and like, no, this is okay. And the people in their car are like, obviously it's not. Obviously this pentagram is occultic. So don't be blind is what I'm trying to say. Don't excuse things away because this is what you want to do. You don't want to throw things out. You want to keep things. You're going to suffer. That is the message God has me to give. And I'm not going to cry with you. I'm just going to look at you like you stupid. Because when the message goes forth and we choose to ignore it, that's going to be on you. So he says, obviously it has adolescent occult associations. He explained, yes.
Leah had wrote a question. I don't know if you're using this to answer it.
Go ahead. I didn't know she wrote a question.
She said, I'm wondering why did he admit that?
Because they're being bold. They don't care anymore. They're like, this is our time. And that's what I'm saying. This is their time. And it's going to get more wicked and more wicked and more wicked.
Right. Lions aren't going to the Super Bowl.
They're not hiding it anymore. They don't care. And we're going to see as I keep going in this presentation. They don't care, y'all. It is their time. Satan said it's our time now. And when it's your time, you're on the stage. You control what goes out in the media. You control what the show going to look like when you're on the stage. You got the microphone. Nobody else got the microphone. That's what's going on. So he says, but I like geometric designs like that because in a very primal way, they are a culture's grasp for control and a way to organize thoughts and systems. And a pentagram in this day and age, with all its associations, meaning occultic, I like the fact that it refers to an alternative system. Pause. What is the alternative? Not following Jesus Christ? So when you got this 5-pointed star on your clothes, what you think that's communicating? That you into an alternative system, that you have welcomed an alternative system into your life. That's what that means. The spirit world is not confused about this, if you are. And that's what they're going to accept. Oh, this is an invitation. We can come in now. So he says, the fashion designer continued. And that suggests openness and empathy. Okay, so what are you open to? Satan. That's what you're open to. You're open to Satan. What do you have empathy for? Lucifer. Because you feel like God did him wrong. That's what you're communicating with this. So nobody in the spirit world is fooled about this. Okay. It suggests the pursuit of pleasure, this pursuit of sensation. What does God teach us to do? Come out of carnality, come out of pleasures, seeking just for every decision is based on me being pleasured by it. A lot of the decisions we make for God is not pleasurable. It's not pleasing our senses. He says, but one of the main things that I think it suggests is empathy and a consideration of systems of living that might not be standard. Because we ain't going to do what God want to do. He says, so that leads us to be more accepting and tolerant of other systems, which I think is a good thing. Do you think that that's a good thing? Because if you don't, that's what you're saying when you wear it. So let me pause. Let that sink in. Thoughts, questions, comments.
Right in our face.
I don't know. Like I used to, like back in high school, I used to wear some, like even back then, I was like, I don't think I want to wear this shoe anymore.
It's like you walking on the ground now.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It feel like you barefooted.
Oh yeah, it's not comfortable.
So yeah, I don't know. This even then, so I was just like, this shoe just ain't it. I'm gonna just not wear it. And I see why.
Okay. Let's move to the next. This dude, he turns my stomach when I look at him. That's how I know he's just full of foul spirits. I can't even look at him without getting sick. Okay, Lil Nas X is who I'm referring to. He also came out with a shoe. Now, Nike said that he took their shoe without their permission and did this. So, you know. But I think a lot of the advertisements and stuff like that, it did not have anything to do with Nike. So, you know, just understand that. So, Lil Nas X came out with a shoe called, it was a Satan shoe, and it's by MSCHF. So, he collaborated with shoe company MSCHF to produce 666, okay, Mischief. Thank you, because I couldn't see it. To produce 666 pairs of Satan shoes. Clearly, this was not a coincidence, the number, and it's called Satan Shoes, which is a customized version of Nike Air Max 97 shoes featuring a pentacle. Featuring a pentacle pendant. The shoes also reportedly included a drop of human blood in the sole of each shoe as a sacrifice, and feature a reference to Luke 8 and features a reference to Luke 10:18, which reads, "And he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." The shoes were released in 2021. Nike contended before the federal judge, Eric R. committee that Satan's shoes were manufactured without authorization from Nike. Nike's lawyers argued that they have submitted evidence that even sophisticated sneakerheads were confused by the shoes. Nike lawyers cited the Rogers test. Nike released a statement in response to the controversy generated, saying Nike did not design or release these shoes, and we do not endorse them. Additionally, the company initiated a lawsuit against Mischief, I'll just say that, alleging that they had infringed on Nike's trademarks and made consumers believe that Nike is endorsing Satanism. As of April 1st, Nike succeeded in obtaining a restraining order against Mischief, blocking sales of the Satan shoes. So I'll put that in there so that you understand. Nike's like, nah. We ain't with this. They stole our stuff. Okay. Here we go. Here is the design. I'll blow this up so you can see. Got the Mischief on there. We got here the pentacle. He makes my stomach turn, y'all. We got the Luke 10:18 on the shoe. So I'll pause. I think Shawnee trying to say something.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Rhodesia.
Nike, I feel like they tricked because they're trying to get out of this, but at the same time, my head just keep going to how did they manufacture your shoes without your permission? That is confusing to me.
Well, you can take someone's design. That happens all the time in fashion. And if you're big enough to pay for the lawyers, then they'll go ahead and fight. But some companies don't have enough money to hire lawyers to fight that. So it actually does happen quite often. Like fast fashion, that's all about taking someone else's design and pushing it out there. So they just took the design of the shoe and manufactured it.
I think it's just in my head because of Nike.
I mean...
Yeah, you can't... I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
You can, like, all of Nike stuff is made in Japan, right? And I'll give you a story. When my son and his best friend were in high school, they wanted to sell throwback Nikes. They didn't have to go through Nike. They went through the original supplier of throwbacks in China. And they got licensed to do it, but they didn't get licensed by Nike. Nike caught them. They paid a fine. And they had to get licensed in order to sell Nike shoes. So China doesn't care. Yeah. All these places don't care that they, that Nike sells. They're like the worst rip-offs of, different, different icons and things like that. They're the worst rip-off ever. They don't care who. As long as you got the money, you can buy it. Yeah. And that makes sense. So these were kids. They didn't know what they were supposed to do. And I didn't know they did it. And when I found out, I made them donate all the money and then put some money up for college education because Nike let them keep it. But anybody can knock off of, look at Lion shirts. Yep. Everybody's not licensed to sell all the little cute shirts they're selling. So anybody can knock off anything.
Yeah. And I know this just because I watch a lot of stuff with fashion and stuff like that. And I've seen how designers have complained about their stuff has been ripped off. And that's a lot of money for Nike to go to court and pay. That wasn't like $1,000 they paid for that lawsuit. They paid millions of dollars to go to court for that. You're not going to pay millions of dollars for a lawyer to go to court if you was a part of it. So it's easy to rip people's stuff off. Adriana was next, sorry.
I'm trying not to look at the photo you have up. But the shoes are absolutely not attractive at all in any shape, form, or fashion. It's like, Jesus. Like a drop of a person's blood
was in,
as a sacrifice.
So you can't see him. So within this part here, a drop of blood was put into each shoe.
Oh my God.
And that's what happens when you shed blood. It is a form of a sacrifice. So whoever wore those shoes, they have been initiated into darkness and probably married to some type of demonic spirit. That's why blood is always needed. They're copying God. God said you have to sacrifice blood as a sacrifice in order to get rid of sins. Well, he takes it as you shed blood as a sacrifice to me, and we can cause more filthiness to come about. Okay.
I had to say something.
Yes.
They had two things. Dang, what's it called? I'm just say first thing. Tony Hawk. He's a pro skater. Mm-hmm. I forgot who he partnered up with, but they literally was drawing his blood and they mixed it in with the paint. You know
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his skateboards.
Yeah.
So like he's saying like this company owns them, and so basically they have to. He can only do what they tell him to do, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
But you also have the ability to say no. But because these people want the profit, the fame, whatever, they go along with it. But there's a lot that comes with that in the end of you agreeing to stuff like that.
It's a shoe place downtown too. I forget.
I'm gonna just throw this in now, but I'll probably go into it in more detail later. But I never thought about it this way, but it makes perfect sense now. It's just interesting, the things I'm learning. I'm gonna say this part first, which isn't the interesting part, but then this is gonna lead to the interesting part. So for instance, when people cut themselves, demonic spirits get people to cut their cutters.
Oh, yeah.
That's a blood sacrifice. So here's another thing that we probably didn't think about. Suicide. They need a life. Everybody that commits suicide, those are human sacrifices to the kingdom of darkness. Demons are encouraging them, influencing them, but that door got opened some kind of way. So every suicide is a human sacrifice being used in the demonic realm. Just like abortions are human sacrifices being used in the demonic realm. That's why all these things are wrong. So, for all these pastors and teachers or whatever that don't want to teach about suicide, or they're confused on if the person is going to heaven. No, these are human sacrifices as well as self-murder. So when you start to look at the bigger picture of how diabolical Satan's kingdom is and how they use these different things to get human sacrifices, because those are needed for them to keep going. They get human sacrifices in all different kinds of ways that we, in our righteous mind, don't think about. Because why would we think about it like that? But I'm just like, oh my God, that is a human life being taken. That is a human sacrifice. So, and which led me to that, well, let's go here. Because all these people, and again, it's sad that it's not only the true prophets of God that's saying this, but it's also people from Satanism that came over to God. When your children participate in Halloween, don't look for the shatterness to come in that moment. But when they get 15, when they get 18, that's when those spirits coming back. Why you think they deranged in their mind? Why you thinking they committing suicide? Why you thinking they now homosexuals? Why you think they going into schools committing mass murders? They have been opened up to these spirits at young ages. And they just come back later to start using them as agents in their kingdom. So why everybody think, oh, it's not so serious, Halloween is just about candy. It's about candy and your kid losing their mind or becoming something crazy later in life. That's what that's about. So we got to be careful what we're opening ourselves, our children, and everyone else to. Because we tend to think, oh, it's not that serious, when it is. I don't know. I don't get people. Okay. This is going to be the last thing, and then I'm going to wrap up and get into the financial meeting. Okay. So here are 7 satanic symbols. So we talked about the pentacle. This is the Baphomet, so that's what Satan is. Here's the pentagram. This right here is the symbol. This word means symbol of Lucifer. This one is used for Leviathan cross. The alchemical, I think I'm saying that right, symbol of sulfur or Satanism. So this right here, I think, would be for alchemical symbol, but they kind of taken that and added some stuff to it to make it for Leviathan cross and Satanism. This is the cross upside down, which we know that is a form of mockery to God. I'll get more into these symbols later because I have them coming up later with more description. But just know. The next one up is Starbucks, but I'm gonna wait till next week. I want to take my time with that one. So next week we're gonna start with Starbucks. I'm just gonna stop here. I
said, you sure?
I only got 10 minutes. I don't want to. No, I am, because I don't want to fly through this.
Okay. So what's that one at the end?
I got it coming up later, so I'll have to talk about it later. I don't remember.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna go in more detail in these later. So thoughts, questions, or comments before we wrap up today's portion of the lesson.
I ain't gonna lie, some of the stuff you showed was kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Adriana?
You said a lot without even going so Jesus, because I don't know, it just made me think about childhood, you know, from our Bible study Friday, what we were discussing, like we have been trick-or-treating when we were younger. We never went often or anything like that, but we have. And some other things that you mentioned, like,
Yeah, it's a lot to think about, right?
Yeah.
So I would start saying, pray prayers to break whatever agreements, covenants were made. Thank God. I mean, I wasn't thankful at the time. My parents never let us go trick-or-treat. It just never made sense to them. It wasn't even about the demonic part. They like, we teach you not to eat from strangers. Why we gonna let you on one night a year go to every stranger's house and collect food to eat? Yeah. So they never let us do that. But if you have been trick-or-treating, definitely just start praying. This is what this lesson is about, is to start triggering memories of, oh my God, well, I had participated in this, and oh my God, I got this in my house. We're going to get to a lot more stuff. So, yeah, take that revelation, see what the Lord is telling you to do, and do that.
So, like, I had just on the thought pattern of, like, Satan trying to target children, especially in this day and age where stuff like Harry Potter stuff is coming out. People are like, I'm part of this house, I'm part of this house. I had a student literally come to my class with a spell book, and I was like, go put that back in your locker. Because, no, I don't want that in my environment.
Exactly.
Like, don't do that in some other teacher's class. But it's just students or kids nowadays really think that the occult realm is something to just be playing around with. And I'm like, and I can see how it's affecting their behavior. I have one student who I can see how it's affecting her negatively. Mm-hmm. Just every time she comes in, I just see a darkness around her. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ooh, where are your parents?
Yeah. And he's after kids. So I'm going to repeat this. They start recruiting at age 3. So if you're not teaching your children about not only God, but about Satan and how to look out for stuff, you're setting them up to be a victim. And I'm not saying that to be mean or whatever, but you don't have time to say, I'm going to wait until they're 10 or 12. It's too late at that point. Now you fighting principalities, demonic spirits that made and got in. You better start teaching them as soon as they can understand language. That's when you need to start teaching. Because whatever you're not teaching, that's they gonna come teach. And here's the thing, what you have to understand, a lot of these Satanists say, they start at schools. That's where they recruiting at. Now, a lot of them do it at the college level, but it could be at grade school. It was this one story that I'll share with you, and then I'll get Adriana, and then we'll end. This let me just go through this. This is just crazy. So this girl's parents, when the mother was pregnant with her, she got raped by a cousin. Now, they never talked about this, but she was in her mother's womb when the mother got raped by the cousin. And the father was left, I guess, helpless, and he couldn't do anything. So, of course, this is a traumatic situation for this family. So, as a result of that, for 14 years, whenever the husband tried to get next to the mother, she couldn't, her body would just shut down. She couldn't do anything. So that's one storyline. This child is born, she grows up, and she's in grade school. She's not in college, she's in grade school. And based on their system, I can't tell whether this was like middle school or high school because they call their stuff different. But this demonic spirit, so when the mother got raped, she got initiated. So whenever someone gets raped, they're automatically initiated into darkness because that's an act to initiate you, whether you realize it or not. So you need to go through some type of deliverance right there. So the mother got initiated into this darkness, but because the girl was in her womb, she automatically got initiated and they got married to a strong man. Now, the strong man doesn't live in the body, and I'm going to go through all this later. I'm just going to say this stuff quickly, so I'm not about to explain. The strong man doesn't reside in the body, but he sends other demonic spirits to go into the body, and that's how the strong man controls the person. So this girl who's in grade school is controlled by this strong man on the outside, but has all these demonic spirits on the inside, and they torment her and cause a lot of pain in her body. The only way to get the pain to stop is they told her she has to have sex with someone every single day. So this girl in grade school, every single day is having sex with someone just to alleviate the pain that they cause in her. So the minister's like, well, who are you having sex with at this age? She says, students at school, the cooks, the drivers, the teachers, whoever will have sex, whoever walks past. And I can, and you know, they'll agree to have sex. So by the time this minister got to her, being in grade school, she had sex with 500 different people. Because she had to do it every single day. Now, you not telling your kid about nothing because you think they're too young. One of these people's kids was one of the ones she had sex with. And when she had sex with every single individual, she initiated them into the dark realm. Mm-hmm. And they got a strong man on them. That's just how serious this is. This is how diabolical Satan's kingdom is. We don't have time to be like, they don't need to know about this. Your kid is going to be a victim. And that's what I got to share. Adriana.
I was just going to say I completely agree. As soon, and just me being a mom of a child that is still kind of young, but learning, like when he went to pre-K, he was exposed to Halloween. You know, like they're teaching them how to say trick-or-treating and how to setting up imitations of how to trick-or-treat at school. Like going from like, this is what you would do when you're outside of school, go from door to door, have them going from table to table, acting like they were ringing a doorbell and say trick-or-treat. So they're exposed to, and even daycares. I think Cohen's second daycare that he went to, they did not allow that at all. But and the next thing, because I know we're almost at time, I think it just left my mind. But yeah, like just knowing to, as soon as they understand, start explaining about God and
right.
Because yeah, okay.
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to get the stuff up, so you can keep talking. I'm just trying to get the stuff up. But if you're done, that's
I wanted to make a point from our Bible study on Friday, and from what you just shared. You made me realize that almost every person I know that has ever had a abortion, mm-hmm. their first child was taken from them. Like when they tried to really have a baby, that first child, everyone I know, it has been that pattern. Their first child was taken from them somehow or another. And I realized that my mom had an abortion, and I don't know much about it. Mm-hmm. When I was little, before we were even born, my grandmother made her get one. Oh. So I think that's something I need to look into or mm-hmm. ask questions about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean, I'm glad this information's helping. You know, I don't have all the answers, but I just have the information to give you. And from there, you know, seek the Lord for what path you need to take. I'm all the time working behind the scenes, trying to understand things because I know certain people are bound. And I'm not satisfied with not being able to help or not being able to understand what to do. So behind the scenes, that is what I've been doing. And the Lord, and I told you, I just feel like I can't go back to just watching regular just stuff. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with my time? The Lord has been really filling my time. Like a lot of stuff that I watch now is educational, whether it's spiritual or whether it's natural things that I need to know. I'm all the time taking notes. Like yesterday, I was just like, Lord, this is great. I just need to take a break. Because it's so much stuff he's teaching me and so much. I got notes. Like now I'm just starting to type it on Word documents and just save it in the folder. Because I don't want to put it in a notebook because then I got to retype it. So at least if I type it in a Word document when I create it as a lesson, I can just copy and paste. But it's so much information that is good, but I'm just like, whoa. So it's just like, it kind of, not kind of, it makes me feel at ease. No, like I've been wrong in a sense of how I've been feeling my time. It makes me feel guilty, I guess. But I'm not walking around like guilt. But I guess that's the best word I can articulate it as right now. Because there's so much time that I could have given him so he could have been showing me stuff where I just been feeling it, just doing not simple things, but just, you know, just things. And now that I'm being really targeted about how I spend my time and what I'm listening to and watching, and this has been a part of the prayer. It was a part of the covenant prayer, right? It's working. Like the Lord is teaching me so much stuff. I'm starting to get so many answers to why certain people couldn't get free and what needs to happen here and what needs to happen there. And so that's what I'm spending my time doing. Why aren't these people getting free? What do I need to know? What's going on behind the scenes? What information can you give me that I can provide to them so that you can take them the distance? So just know, if we prayed about stuff and it hadn't worked or whatever like that, I'm behind the scenes seeking the Lord for the answers. And he definitely showing me a lot. And I'm just amazed because Satan is diabolical. There's no other word. And the stuff that you would think is nothing and, oh, that can't be that. And, oh, it would be that bad. It really is, y'all. It really is. And our ignorance is what's causing him to be so successful. It's a shame. So I'm going to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Charlene. Go ahead.
Yeah, you and I had asked you about Starbucks, and
yep.
The Lord provided a resource, and I got rid of all that stuff.
Okay.
And stopped going there. But I was wondering if any of the ladies know about makeup that is hyperallergenic that can be used, that comes in colors for Black people, that I could use, because I just found out that somebody bought Clinique, which I've been using for years, some satanic company, and I have no idea where I can find makeup.
Interesting.
So if any of you ladies do, I'd appreciate you letting me know.
Okay. Also, just go on YouTube, type in that word. What did you say?
Me?
No.
Clinique.
Yeah. What would you say that hyperallergenic?
Hyperallergenic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Type in hypoallergenic. Cannot talk. Hypoallergenic makeup, and a bunch of stuff will just start to pop up. So try that first.
Yeah, but who can you trust to get this makeup from? Because I've been using Clinique forever, and then all of a sudden they're bought by somebody who is demonic.
Right. I mean, at least start to see what makeup lines carry it, and then from there you can research the makeup lines, is where I was going to go with that. Because I'm not, like, for me, I don't know anything offhand. That's just what I would be doing to try to get the answer for you, is to go. I always start with either Google or YouTube. Adriana.
And they need to be researched, but maybe one you can look at is Bare Minerals. Their line is hyperallergenic. Okay. I do know that, but I don't know if they're attached to any demonic, any sources or anything of that nature.
And then I'll send you a couple that I know of. They're pretty pricey though, but I'm going to look into it before I send it to you. So that way it's not a waste of time. Because I have 4 that's off the top of my head, and I don't think that they're demonic or anything, but I'm going to just double check just to make sure. And if it's confirmed, then they're clean brands and I'll send it to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, both of you.
See? That's what we're here for, community. Help each other. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pray us out so I can stop the recording, and then we'll get into the financial review. Father, Lord God, we just thank you for this class. We just thank you for another opportunity to dive into your word, for you to just give us wisdom, revelation, understanding about symbols, signs, things in our everyday society that we don't even realize is occultic, that is demonic, satanic. So we pray, Lord God, that you just continue to open up our eyes to these things. Continue, Lord God, to give us revelation, understanding, and wisdom. And we just thank you for all that you are doing for us, Lord God. In Jesus' name, amen.